All right, now we are going to talk about um, inverse function and domain of inverse function. Okay, so in our last video, we talked about the basic um, definition of inverse function, and we talked about how to interchange the range and the domain um, of inverse function, right? So this video, we're going to talk about actually how to find inverse function for, function a little bit more complicated than the previous examples, right? So find the inverse of a function. Okay, there are several steps that involves with um, find the inverse function, and let me do that with actual example, right? So let's say f of x equal 2x plus 3. Now step 1 is um, replace f of x to y, right? That's step 1. So first thing that we'll do, we'll just replace f of x as y. So it becomes like y equal 2x plus 3, right? Well, not too bad, right? Not too complicated yet. Now step 2, once you replace it, x and y, then um, interchange x and y. Interchange x and y. So now this y become x, this x become y. Right? That's not that hard, right? So just y become x, x become y, right? Interchange x and y. Okay. Now step 3. Solve for y. Now, what do they mean by solve for y? That means we write this equation as y equal something something, right? We write this equation as y equals something something. So let's do that. So this x equal 2y plus 3. Now I'm going to switch the side. So 2y plus 3 equal x. Didn't do anything fancy yet. I'm just switching the x and y, the left and right side. Now I'm going to move this 3 to the other side. Then it becomes 2y equal x. If I move this plus 3, that becomes minus 3. Now what? Divide everything by 2 to cancel out. So we have um, y equal x plus, not plus, x minus 3 over 2, right? Then step 4. replace y with f inverse of x. So this y now become f inverse of x and x minus 3 over 2. And that's our answer, right? That's our answer. So let's recap. We start with this function. First thing that we did, we replaced this f of x with the y. So just rewriting that as y like this. And then interchange x and y. So just flip y to x and x to y. And then solve this for y, right? So we write this equation as y equal something something equation. So we did that. We replace. We tried to solve this for y. So switch left side, right side, because I want the y on the left side, and then move everything else, and we got our y. Then, as for the last step, just replace that y, this y, with inverse of x. And there we have it. This is our answer. All right. So that's not that horrible, right? That's not that horrible. Not too bad. All right. Inverse function, you can only find inverse function when the original given function is one-to-one function, right? If it's not one-to-one function, then you cannot have inverse function, right? Okay. Now let's check out next example. Let f of x equal to x plus 1 over x minus 1, and of course x cannot be equal to 1. This is one-to-one function. Find its inverse of x. So again, I think you should pause this example and try to do it by yourself, right? Okay. Step 1. Step 1 was what? Step 1 was replace f of x to y. So f of x to y. So you can rewrite this as y equal to x plus 1, x minus 1. Okay. Now, what's step 2? Step 2 is switch x and y. Remember that, right? Switch x and y. So this becomes x equal 2y plus 1, y minus 1. Okay. Now, step 3 was what? Solve for y. So I need to rewrite this into y equals something, right? So I'm going to look at this as x over 1, and I'm going to do a cross multiplication, right? So x times y minus 1 equal to 1 times 2y plus 1. Okay, then x times y, x times minus 1 equal 2y plus 1. So I'm going to move this to here and move that to here, right? So this would be xy minus 2y equal 1 plus x, or x plus 1, same thing, right? Now I'm going to factor out the y, then it will be x minus 2 equal, I'm going to rewrite this as x plus 1, right? Same deal. And then divide everything by x minus 2. So that this cancels out. I'm going to rewrite it in here. Then y equal x plus 1, x minus 2, right? X minus 2. And of course, here we should have this condition, x cannot be equal to 2, right? Because we don't want the denominator goes to 0. And step 4 is what? Replace y to the inverse of f of x. So inverse of f of x equal x plus 1, x minus 2, just like that, and x cannot be equal to 2, right? That's our solution. All right.